Thank you for joining me. I'm Tracy, and this is a DIY upcycling channel where we create one-of-a-kind clothing, purses, and accessories from pre-owned items. And today, I want to jazz up this top and give it some personality, and it's going to be quick and easy. So a great one for beginners out there. So this is a top I've had for years. I don't wear it anymore. It has a couple little stains. The inspiration are these two thrifted pieces, just a simple vest, and these are boys, kids section, 16 Husky Wrangler jeans, and they fit me great. For reference, I'm a 29-30 waist, and they're kind of a cropped fit, boyfriend fit, wide leg, and I needed a fun top with personality to wear with this. So let's get going. I'm starting this by just going to my lace stash. I have a few pieces of vintage lace. It's really not going to take much. The first thing I'm going to do is just add like a little lacy cap sleeve, and I'll show you what doilies I use for that. I'm going to start with these two matching pieces, and they're about 18 inches long and 10 inches across a piece. Now I want one side to be fairly straight, so I'm just going to cut off an extra piece on this side. Okay, so now I want to add one of those to each of the sleeve, and they'll go like that. What I have to do to start is find that center seam. There's a seam right here, and I measured down from that seam 3 inches and put a pin. And on the back side, from that seam, I measured down 4 inches and stuck a pin, and I did the same on this side as well. Now, I'm just going to fold this in half, right sides together, to find the center, and that's right here. Now, I'm taking the straight side of that doily, and I'm going to lay that center that I found right on top of that seam. And I'm laying this right sides together with the doily laying on my mannequin, so that when I sew it and it flips back over, I'll have a clean seam. So I'm going to pin that right at the seam, and I'll stick a couple more pins all the way down to the pin that I marked on the shirt. Easy peasy. Now I have both sides pinned, and I am going to take it to my machine, and from this pin to this pin, I'm going to use my largest zigzag stitch, white thread, and I'm just going to sew over top of that on both sides. Okay, sleeves are done. And now I want to add some ruffles to the front. I won't need these strings anymore, so I'm just going to snip them off. The first thing I want to do before I sew the lace, it'll come down the collar and down the front, is I want to mark my center underneath of this decorative piece. And I just stuck a few pins in the middle, right underneath of here, because when I'm at my machine, I'll get kind of lost, and this will be my guide to make sure that my lace is sort of straight coming down. Okay, so I have this beautiful piece of lace. I think it was some sort of collar or something. I ordered a lot of lace, LOT, from eBay, and it has just all kinds of different laces in it, and this was one. It's about 24 inches long, and this will be my ruffle for the right side. And all I'm going to do, I won't pin this or anything, but I will take the top, it's a little ratty, I'm going to fold that over, and I'm going to lay it right at the edge of the collar at the seam that goes across the shoulder. And I will lay it there at the very edge, and I'll do a large zigzag stitch and just stitch it, follow that collar all the way down, and when I get down to here, I will just stay barely to the right of those pins that I marked the center with and sew that all the way down. I am going to remove this front plate, and I am going to take the armhole of the side I'm working on, and I'm going to slip that through my machine, come up to that top seam where I'm going to start, fold my lace over, lay it down at that top seam, go forward and back, and just cruise all the way down. Okay, this side's all done. Now I just want to do the other side. Now I only had one of those collars that I used on the right side of the top, so now I'm going to use this doily that's sort of a unique shape, and I'm going to make it long enough, so I'm just going to cut it sort of down the middle, and I'm going to stop at about right there, and then I have a nice long piece. Okay, there's my long piece now, and I'm going to sew it on just like I did this one. I'm going to use a zigzag stitch, start up at that seam, just guide this around. If I need to pleat it a little bit to get it around a curve, I'll do that, and sew all the way down, follow this line right next to the other one. Okay, so I ran a little short on this one because I did a little extra pleating around that collar, and I have this far to go, so I went and cut another piece of doily from my little stash, and I'm just going to continue sewing with that. I'm going to fold the top part over, and I'm going to overlap this one right here so that I have a little bit of a ruffly thing there. And I'm just going to continue sewing down. Now, I'm almost done. I want to add a tiny little piece of lace all the way around the bottom. Typically, I would add a larger piece, but for this vest look, I like the length of this, and I just want to add a teeny bit of interest. Now, the back is sort of plain, and that's what I want for my vest. But you could add a doily, a big doily on the back to decorate it. There are some crochet doily pieces that have a bunch of little flowers on them. I've cut out all those little flowers before and just sewed them on randomly. You know, little patches. You do whatever you want, but my back will be plain for my purposes. Now I need to cut the little piece of lace I want at the bottom. Now I have this table runner, and I'm just going to cut the border off for what I want to use it for. And this will not go to waste, believe me. This lace will get used. I am not ruining it. I'll still upcycle that for another project. Now I'm going to turn my top inside out, and I am going to sew this piece of lace just right at the very edge using a zigzag stitch. That way it'll still have a nice clean hem on the outside and just have a little bit of lace peeking out from underneath. So I'll go to my machine and get that sewn all the way around the top. Okay, done. How easy is that? I am going to pull it in and give you a little bit of a slower, closer look, and then I'm going to go put it on with my vest and jeans. Okay, here it is all done and styled. Now, I could have had this done under 20 minutes if I wasn't filming. Fast and easy. We added so much personality, but I'm going to add one more thing. I cut 3 strips of lace from tablecloths and a curtain. They range from 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch wide and 51 to 54 inches long. Now I'm just going to make a little impromptu choker, tie a little knot, and just add a little more wispiness and interest. Thank you so much for watching.